now listening to the JCA Sports Podcast on Spotify and Anchor. To the JCA Sports.
Baby,
What up, everybody? Woo-woo. What's going on?
What's going on?
Another great episode of the JCA Sports Podcast. Here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. As always, thank you, Jose, for representing the shirt. I gotta find mine anyways. I don't know where my shirt is.
we have a whole garage full of them for all the fans that were supposed to get them. I never got them. You know where they're at, bro.
Eric has
This
them
is
all,
true.
man.
This is true.
Eric.
This is true. You're absolutely right on that part.
Yeah, one job, Eric.
Yeah, one job. No, yeah, but welcome to the JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Guys, as always, make sure you guys follow us on all our social media platforms, including Instagram and TikTok, and also always like and share all of our episodes, not only just the JCA Sports Podcast, but also Sports Strip Live and the EAFP. Jose Contreras, Jonathan Pelayo, myself, Eric Cavali, would like to thank you guys. What's going on, guys? How you guys doing?
Man, we're great.
Yeah, man,
Nice.
doing good.
Feeling good?
Feeling
Yes,
good.
yes, you got a new
Feeling
ink coming
nervous for Sunday.
Okay.
We got
Yeah, you know what? And
Oh,
hey, hopefully
man.
you get that, that good juju vibe carrying on for the weekend, heading into Sunday against the Bears, for the Bears game against the Minnesota Vikings. It's an interesting matchup to say the least. It's the second Bears divisional game against divisional opponent. I guess I can say that right, against the Minnesota Vikings, a team that you don't know what you're going to get week in and week out, right? Kirk Cousins is your quarterback, and that gives you a fighting chance to be in a game, right? But also it gives you a chance if you're I don't want to say bad, right? I don't think bad is the right word, but is at not
No.
playing well like the Chicago Bears. It's an opportunity for them to exploit the defense, and they could throw literally a 40 burger on you guys, just like this with the weapons that they have in Cook and Jeffries and Thielen. So, John, since you started it off, how confident? Where's your confident level for the Bears game on Sunday?
Don't hate me. I have no confidence at all. Come Sunday,
It's not a surprise.
I'm literally. I'm at like a negative 10.
Negative 10.
Negative 10. Listen. I had more confidence that we'd upset the Packers than I do we're gonna upset the Vikings. And it was mostly the fandom in me. The Packers haven't been the Packers of old, but they still owned us the way the Vikings have been playing. There's a big gap between us and the Vikings, and it's gonna show on Sunday. It's gonna be I think it's gonna be a bloodbath, to be honest with you. I hope our defense can make it a close game, but our offense doesn't have the firepower to match up with them. Even if it is average Kirk Cousins, let him throw 2 picks, two TDs. Justin Fields is probably going to throw 2 picks and no TDs. It's going to be ugly. That's
the conundrum that we have right now with the Chicago Bears. At least for the first 4 games that we've seen so far for the Chicago Bears, like we know what the Bears are. Run heavy team. And hopefully they do well on defense. The passing game is non-existing. I guess you can say that.
No,
Right?
you're right.
That's the perfect word.
Non-existent is the word for sure.
Yeah, and it's one of those games where it could either be really, really ugly and close, or really, really ugly and a blowout. Jose, confidence level for you on the Bears game Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings?
Believe it or not, I said it last. I said it last week, guys. Right? I'm not going to react as mad or as angry as I did last week anymore because as we said, John and I mentioned last week, Eric, I told you this. We shouldn't be surprised at how they are. We shouldn't be surprised that they're playing the way they're playing. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, they're going to win or they're going to lose because we know what this team is. Regardless if they win or lose this game, we know exactly what this team is, what this team needs to improve on. You know what I mean? Or what we need to be better going forward.
Yeah.
Looking at this matchup, right? Like my confidence level though, still out of from 1 through 10 is a 5. And let me tell you why.
What?
It might be higher than everybody thinks, right? I know John's like probably like what a 1. You said -10, right?
I said, oh Lord.
You said -10.
This is Tony blasphemy talking.
Well, the reason why I say this, although the Vikings are in the top of our division 3-1, they're not world beaters. They're still they still have a middle of the road defense and a middle of the road offense. Yeah, they have way better talented players than we do, especially in both the running back and the wide receiver position.
Yeah.
But they still have Kirk Cousins behind center, and he's been struggling as of late. Looking at so again, like their offense and defense are literally they're mid. They're mid.
Mm-hmm.
They're averaging if I'm not mistaken 26 points per game, or is it 20 points per game? Let me I know they're allowing 20 points per game. The Bears are allowing 19. The Bears are allowing 19 points per game, which is 11th. Vikings are 20th with 12. But the thing is, the Bears are only putting up 16. They're only averaging 16 points per game.
Yeah.
Vikings are going to win this game solely off that alone because offensively we're just not good, right? And if it's going to be any offensive, I guess if this is going to be an offensive game, it's going to be because Kirk Cousins throwing it to Justin Jefferson and he's just scoring left and right.
Even if our defense manages to keep their receivers in check, then Cook is going to run all over. Cook and Madison will both run all over us.
Yeah.
The Bears can't stop to run it all.
Right. But it goes the same way. The Vikings aren't good against the run defense either. Right. And right now we rank 3rd in rushing. So
yeah. So it might be a rushing shootout.
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a lot closer than people think it is.
Let me check what Vegas thinks of it. Hold on, I haven't even looked at the spread this weekend. Let me see.
I'll tell you right now. Actually,
I got to pull the
+7. The Bears,
the
last time I said DraftKings, the Bears were +7. Yeah.
No, I'm taking Vikings to cover the 7.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think I'm gonna take the Bears.
7's a lot of points.
7 is a lot of points, but
I'm taking Vikings to cover the 7. We're at Minnesota.
Yeah, we're on the road.
And I'll probably take the over 44.
And that's 40 points from the Vikings coming off of that, right, John? That's where you're at right now?
That's literally I'm looking at like probably 34 points from Minnesota.
John, look at the defenses, John. They're similar. They're not going to allow the other team to score 44, but especially when you're looking at a Bears team who can't even score 17 points a game.
That's why I just gave the Vikings over 30 points.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. That's what I'm tell you. It's not going to happen. They don't average that. That's not their style this year.
But look who they're playing against.
Yeah, the defense is decent though with the Bears. That's the one we all said it last week. That's the bright spot in this team is that our defense is at least decent. They're literally both teams' defenses are average. Yeah. They're not above. They're not below. They're literally average.
They're right there around where like you said, league minimum, right in the middle. They're not good at being the top defense in the league, but they're also not bad enough to be in the worst defense of the league. They're just legit right there.
See, but it's okay. Looking at the Vikings last, I shouldn't say last. There are only 4 games. They've allowed 20 points, 24 to Eagles, 24 to Lions, and 25 to the Saints. All those teams, though, will put up the same amount of points against the Bears. All those teams will outscore the Bears.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Vikings, the Packers had a fluke week 1 where they only put 7 points up against the Vikings and lost. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even see the Bears scoring 24 on this team.
All right.
Here's a stat for you. The Vikings won the last 2 games by overcoming a fourth quarter deficit in each game. Right? One in Detroit, one in New Orleans.
Yeah.
It was the first time Minnesota won consecutive games in that matter since week 8 or 9. which tells me that when it comes to pressure time, they're there. That's the reason why I think
Kirk Cousins is clutch.
Yeah, they're going to win that
So
game.
far.
He's
He's clutch.
They're going to win that game. It's going to be a close game, and they're going to win at the end. But I see it being tightly contested.
I don't see it being close, just because it's the Bears, man. I don't see this team. This team needs a lot of improvement. Like you said, I'm done getting my hopes up on these Bears to pull off an upset. I hope they do it, but now Minnesota is definitely I should say a playoff worthy team.
Dude,
that's not a bad. That's not really a bad take because really in the NFC it's a little bit wide open, especially in a conference to where it's like you can literally pick out 5 good teams and then there's still 2 playoff spot yet to be filled, and they're one of the teams that could literally be in that playoff spot.
Yeah, they can be a wild card team.
Yeah, they definitely could be a wild card team.
I mean, Jose touched upon it not too long ago, but I think
Jose got them winning the division.
Yeah, that's what I was going with. They may win the division. And if they are, guess what? They're going to drop over 30 on the Bears.
One more thing real quick, Eric. Time of possession for both teams are literally they're both really bad. They're both right there in the lower part of the league. Vikings with 26, Bears with 30th. That tells me a lot of 3 and outs, which is why I feel this is going to be a defensive game. Mm-hmm. They can't keep the ball.
Right. And obviously it all comes down to the health of Jalen Johnson. Obviously, if Jalen Johnson's in this game, then it's not going to be so sweet and so cute for Justin Jefferson. I think Jalen could keep toe-to-toe with Justin Jefferson too as well. It's the supporting cast. It's the run defense. How are they going to stop Dalvin Cook and their other backup running back? John mentioned his name. I forgot his name already.
Alexander Madison.
There you go. Thank you. And if Adam Thielen can he turn back the clock? I know he became the number 2 wide receiver and second choice in Kirk Cousins' passing offense, and rightfully so because you got Justin Jefferson who could blow off the top on receiver. But you're right. A lot of these teams, like we could say, okay, yeah, they have the talent on this side, they have the quarterback here, they can score more than 20 points, they can do that, But the stats show that they're not that like Jose said, they're not world beaters, right? But in a divisional game where you play the same team twice, where the team knows you in and out like the back of your hand too as well, it's kind of those numbers kind of go out the door because it doesn't really normally play that way out, right? The Bears, to me, hopefully not, right? But I feel like they're going to struggle, and I think the bad tendencies that they came over to the bad tendencies that they have against the New York Giants are going to come over to this game on the road in Minnesota. Minnesota is a step above the New York Giants, and when we see the Bears play a team that's a step above the teams that are just like them, like the Texans, like the Giants, and they got a lucky one with the 49ers. You can tell that the Bears are going to struggle with these not top echelon teams, but these teams that are way better. And my confidence level for the Bears, I mean, it's not as high as Jose, but it's definitely not as low as John's. Jose said he's at what'd you say, 7? 5?
At a 5. He said 6.
5. He's at a 5.
5 or 6.
I thought he said 7. Well, I'm with Jose.
You're on mute, bro.
I'm like right in the middle. I think
Jose,
I'm at a 5. I am definitely at a 5 with the Bears. I don't think they're going to come out with a W. Excuse me. I don't think they're going to come out with a W this week. They're on the road again, but I do hope they keep it close. I have it right here. Hoping for a Bears win, but I got 28-13. The Vikings over the Bears.
That's not
28-13.
28-13.
That's not close at all. I don't have 28. I said a 5. I have them at a 5. My confidence level is at a 5.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to go ahead and give our picks now? Are we doing that since you did your?
We might as well, yeah.
All right.
Well,
I'm going.
That's all I got for the Bears. It's just kind of. It's hard to be excited for a team that just played a crap team and played crappy.
2017 Vikings. I'm about to say Bears. 2017.
Damn. That's close.
That's super close.
I'm trying to tell you, both defenses are literally even. Literally.
It's just
Eric,
the offense is completely different.
Yours is just under the 44 over under.
Yeah, I'm picking under. I told you I'm going with under.
No, I know you're going under. Eric's is just under.
Right.
I'm going Minnesota 32, Bears 14.
You're disrespecting the Bears defense. They're not that bad.
They're gonna piece us.
It's not that it's disrespecting the Bears defense, Jose. It's mainly the fact that what can the offense do to help the defense,
right?
Because if the defense is gonna be there for a period amount of time and you get a lot of three and outs, the offense has to give the defense a little bit of breathing, a little bit of help.
Here, we still haven't given up that many points.
But we are this week because I predict a pick 6 coming.
Yeah, Eddie Jackson.
Let's go to the comment section here.
I wish
Deontay, what up? Uncle Day says the Bears were 1 or 2 plays away from winning the 2 games they lost. Which is true. Against the Packers, if that touchdown is given to Fields, that game could have been different. Maybe not. If the punt isn't fumbled, the Giants came to the Giants game could be different. They're in the game to have the winner shot. I think I give you more chance of the last game against the Giants than against the Packers. Knowing Aaron Rodgers, even if Justin Fields and the Bears came down and scored that touchdown given to Justin Fields, Aaron Rodgers could find a way to score another touchdown or a field goal simply as that, simply because it's Aaron freaking Rodgers, all right? That one, the last game, though, this one, I agree. 1 or 2 plays away. They didn't score. They didn't score their only point getter in Bagley money bags, who they released yesterday. Who know that what team can let go of their high scoring, their only scoring player over the weekend and just let them walk the street like that?
Only the Bears. Typical
only
Chicago.
The Bears can do that, right? But regardless of the fact, guys, it's just it's kind of hard to be motivated and excited like how we were when against the 49ers heading into the Packers and the loss like the Giants heading into another road game against a divisional opponent.
You're not as excited.
I'm not. I mean,
why should we be?
Why should we be excited, right?
No, but he had 11 wins. So I'm now I want to ask you
what gave up on that, bro.
How many wins? Right. But I'm saying, how many wins do you have?
Well, first of all, if I could go back on this, I did say the Bears were going to lose this game anyways because it's on the road against Minnesota. So no matter what my feeling is, I still, whether if they play good or play the way they did and still came up with a win, I still would have probably come out and said the Bears are going to lose because they were going to lose this game regardless. So
what's your win total now? I just want to know.
Part of me wants to hold my honor and my pride and be a man and still keep my 10 wins.
You could be a man and admit your mistakes though at the same time. That's also being a man. Is it
right?
It's not a mistake if he genuinely felt that was true.
I did genuinely feel like it was true. I did. I really.
I mean, he's crazy.
Showed themselves.
But it's not a mistake, but he's wrong. So he needs to admit he's wrong.
I mean, I know when I'm wrong. I'll admit when I'm wrong. I think
I was wrong with the Bulls.
By what I've seen the first 4 weeks, I kind of find it hard where the Bears could even find 6 wins, even if they play as crappy as even with a crap team like the New York Giants. I know we still got the Jets on the schedule. We still have the Falcons on the schedule. We still have.
Wolf look good though offensively.
The Commanders on schedule.
The Jets will probably beat us the way they've been playing.
The Falcons will probably beat us.
It's one of those.
That one hurts
barely
to say,
beat the
Jose.
Texans, and those were the teams that were supposed to be the bottom feeders of the league, and it just feels like the Bears are the ones at the bottom, than anything else.
But listen to this: with Mariota, the offense looks better than our offense with the Bears, and we have Justin Fields.
And that's crazy because Mariota's for sure a guy that we wouldn't want.
We have Cordell. They have Cordell Patterson as their running back, and their offense looks better than us. What?
Terrible.
How can you explain that, bro? How can you explain that?
To be fair, even if Patterson was on the team, no way we're starting him over Montgomery.
No. But I'm just saying. But with Mariota and Cordell Patterson as your starting QB and running back, they have a better offense than we do, and we have Justin Fields, David Montgomery, and Khalil Herbert. Eric,
you're making a face, but
Eric, you haven't been paying attention to the Falcons.
Mariota.
I mean, at least we should at least get a thank you from the Falcons to actually convert Cordell Patterson into the running back because of Nagy. That's the only reason why he was there in the first place, right? I mean, The Falcons. I mean, at this point, I definitely know you guys will take Kyle Pitts.
25.8 points a game.
Okay,
we'd be lucky to have to be there right now.
I mean, the Falcons have Kyle Pitts, right? One of the best young tight ends in the game.
No, Pitts hasn't done a damn thing.
No,
bro, I have him on my fans. He's been a
bust. I think he's injured this week too.
I mean, they still have. Then they draft like Blake.
They got nobody.
London Drake or Drake London or London Bridge is falling down.
Yes, Drake London has been good. He has been great, but Kyle Pitts hasn't been doing a damn thing. But look, 8 points. They're 8th in scoring. Okay, 16th in yards per game, 4th in rushing yards per game. So even with Cordell Patterson, the Bears are right now, believe it or not, are 3rd in rushing. So they're right behind us.
Oh yeah.
I mean, believe it or not, I mean, you could tell they could run the damn ball. So it's not that it shouldn't be that surprising.
That's all we can do is
third.
run the ball, though, man.
I'm just telling you, offensively, they're better than us. And right now, we'll lose to the Falcons.
Listen, I told you guys, we're not winning a game in October.
It's crazy.
We're not winning at all this month. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be true.
Yeah, it's a tough road ahead. I have more
hard.
faith.
Jesus.
I have more faith next week against the Commanders than I do this week against than I do the Vikings. Simply because the game's here at home and on short week.
The 13th, yeah. When they play the Commanders, the Thursday night game.
They'll probably lose that game too, man.
Nah, you could say around
Carson Wentz is gonna look like his former
but the
MVP
Commanders
self.
haven't really been.
The Commanders are still better than us, though.
Huh?
The Commanders are still better than us.
I mean, they got the weapons. It's just the personnel and the playing style just hasn't been up to par.
I think at this point, when we win games, it's now considered an upset. So I think
absolutely.
I think if there's going to be an upset, it's going to be against the Commanders.
We're ranked bottom 5 in the league.
Yeah, it's bad.
So it's definitely an upset whenever we win now going forward.
That's what I'm saying. I think if we get an upset, it'll be against the Commanders on Thursday night.
So what I'm guessing is, and the question for you guys is, would you guys rather have another bad performance and a Bears W, or would you guys rather have a decent offensive performance and an L against the Minnesota Vikings this week?
Originally, I would say win originally, right?
Mm-hmm.
But knowing this team is not doing anything this year, even if they do win, I think I would rather take the offensive performance because at least that's something you can build off of going forward.
Facts. I gotta agree with Jose. I don't want no more ugly wins. Then they're giving us false hope, man. Exactly. I don't need no more false hope. Exactly. I don't need to be tempted to buy more Bears gear. None of that.
I seen the shoes you posted on Facebook. I was like, those look nice.
Those shoes
they look nice.
But no, instead, I'm gonna spend my money on the Bulls.
Yes.
Until they disappoint me, and then I don't want to waste no more money on the Bulls.
Agreed.
You know what?
The Bears are the brother jokes of the league. Yeah, you're right.
I'm gonna be
on
the Bulls hype train up until like February. That's where they fall off.
Yeah. but the new Jets and the new Browns. Remember, Browns fans were wearing paper bags on their head.
No.
We're gonna get there, bro.
No. I'd rather be the Jets than the Browns because the
Jets
Browns are just that's a whole nother level of bad.
At least the Browns have a good quarterback coming towards the end of the year.
You know what? And Jacoby Brissett hasn't been playing bad either, though.
Right.
He's actually been.
Jacoby Brissett has been a reliable,
decent
quarterback,
right? But come on, okay, exactly. You have backups playing better than our starting quarterback right now. That is the problem.
Jacoby Brissett playing this
like
year
a new backup
for 10 years, bro. What you expect?
Mariota's a backup playing better than Justin Fields. Brissett is a backup playing better than Justin
Mariota's
Fields.
the starter in Atlanta.
He's a backup at best. He's only a starter in Atlanta because they have no quarterback there, Eric.
Yeah, but at least Mariota took a team to the playoffs in Tennessee. What are you talking about?
Okay, and that same team let him walk. They let him walk. They gave up on him and went for trash Tannehill. And it's showing again how trash Tannehill is, but they literally gave up on one trash for more trash.
I understand that part, but you guys are talking about like these guys. Like I would understand your argument if it was Drew Lock, right? I would understand your argument if it was maybe even Geno. Geno's kind of showing a little.
Geno is playing better.
Geno is okay. Geno's okay. Here's the thing, Eric. What is considered a starting quarterback? When you put him on a team with other quarterbacks, he's better than, right? You put Mariota on any other team in the NFL, he's not going to start over those players. But the Falcons have nobody right now.
Right.
So So then that's their starter. But you mean to tell me if they're like whoever they draft next year is not going to start over Mariota? Let's be honest.
I mean, it
You know,
depends on the quarterback. I mean, I know
Mariota
next year
is a backup at best.
I know next year the draft class for the quarterback is supposedly be deep, but excuse me. But at the same time, you guys are just not gonna give Mariota a little bit of credit for what he did in Tennessee, taking them to back-to-back playoffs when they haven't been in the playoffs in over a decade in Tennessee. And he goes to Atlanta. He's doing a good job because
what happened, Eric? What happened after that?
Look, it's part of the NFL, bro.
It's been years from when that happened till now. It's been a lot of years, and he's been on a lot of teams that had sus quarterbacks, and he couldn't start above them. There was a reason why he didn't last as their QB. If what you're saying is like, oh, he was so good, he took the Titans to the back-to-back playoffs. Why do they have Ryan Tannehill?
No, but what I'm saying is, it's just like it's like the whole Jimmy G thing about like you guys are not giving him respect of the player he is. Mariota, okay, he's not a top-notch quarterback. Okay, great, but he's he's sort of kind of reliable to where if you put him in a better situation, he's going to perform like the Marcus Mariota that we saw coming out of college in Oregon and what we saw in his beginning years in Tennessee. You give him the right pieces, just like any other quarterback, not just like Derek Carr or something like that. But you give him pieces, you give quarterback pieces, they're gonna show their talent to a certain point. And Mariota has been proven that he could do it. Mariota, when he was with Tennessee, they ranked middle of offense, and I think and their defense was stellar. Back then, that's perfect for the NFL. Back then, you're right, they couldn't go over the hump because the better quarterbacks, beat them out of the playoffs, and that's how it's supposed to be.
You literally had me looking at Mariota. We were not slated to talk about Mariota.
Listen, but it's just like you're like, Mariota. I'm like, no, guys.
All I know is you would not want Mariota as your starter for the Bears.
No, you would not.
Not this year. Not when Tennessee left them. Not when Vegas gave up on them. You wouldn't want him.
Well, I mean, Vegas didn't really game up. Derek Carr actually stepped up and played a lot better.
Oh yeah, well, okay, but I'm saying when they released him and didn't re-sign him as their backup, you didn't want him to come be a start over here. You didn't want him as a backup over here.
Yeah, there was really, I mean, well, shit, I would have had him over Mitch anytime. To be honest with you,
that's because you hate Mitch. But would you want him over?
It's true. I mean, at least when I see a better quarterback in the market, I'll go for that.
Mariota
route.
Isn't a better quarterback. You just said it.
This is Mariota's stats.
It's the personnel around him.
Right now, Mariota.
I'm pretty sure Fields would look a lot better in Atlanta right now.
Yeah, low key.
Because he has the better weapons in Atlanta, guys.
That means Mariota would suck ass over here. He'd be trash.
Right. I mean, any quarterback will suck ass over here at this point. There's no quarterback will be successful with this team right now at the moment.
So the whole point of this debate, the whole point we brought this up was the fact that Justin Fields looks worse than two backup quarterbacks. That's the reason why we were saying it. That was the only reason why Justin Fields looks worse than both Mariota and Jacoby Brissett. And we both know those two players are backups at best. Think about this. Mariota he's not having a great season. He only has 779 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, yet he still looks better than Justin Fields. That's
facts, bro. It's sad. Again, it shows you the Bears cannot develop a quarterback.
Now, we're not saying he's going to be continuously better than Justin Fields. We're just saying right now, as of 4 games, it's not looking good. That's all. And that's an issue.
It is, because it's Marcus Mariota.
Exactly. Give him his props. He's doing it. He is starting. He is playing. And just to be at that level, you get all the respect in the world. So
to be honest, he's probably performing better because he probably feels less pressure because the team's not expected to do anything.
Exactly.
At all.
But fact they're averaging 25 points a game. You know what I mean? We're averaging 16.
All I'm saying is a year or two ago, when we were like discussing whether Mitch is gonna get traded, gonna get replaced, none of us would have took Derek Carr, none of us would have took Mariota, none of us would have took Jacoby Brissett. Because they're garbage. But yet they're no, bro. We had this discussion. You didn't want Derek Carr back then.
First 2 I would. I would take Derek Carr or even Marcus Mariota.
You say that now.
I've been saying that.
No, bro. You've never been a Derek Carr fan.
The thing
but I know he's better than Mitch.
The thing is, we knew. I think the only reason why I think I was one of the ones that said that I didn't want either one, but that's only because I'm tired of getting fill-in quarterbacks, fillers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get filler quarterbacks. Even if we had Derek Carr, he's not your franchise quarterback. So
No.
it's like, and I'm tired of that. I want a franchise
We would
quarterback
have still had the same result. Make the playoffs, lose the first round.
or second, but either way, it's not what we want. You know what I mean? It's not what we want.
I mean, with Matt Nagy play calling, I doubt we'd see a second round.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, and that's the issue here. I just want Justin Fields to develop the way he's supposed to, the way like Trevor Lawrence is developing in Jacksonville. Why is that so hard to ask? Everybody, like, again, we can come up with excuses because there's literally evidence as to why it's not happening. But when you're in the organization that has the same issues over and over, and I get it, it's a whole different regime, but we're going through the same thing we've always been through. So to us, it's like, why is it that we can't have a Trevor Lawrence type situation where we have a quarterback who's developing, who has weapons around him, who has an offensive line that's somewhat protecting him, and he's looking like the franchise quarterback that we need? I get that has to happen here in Chicago, but how come it hasn't happened yet? How come we haven't seen that yet? And that's where all the frustration builds from a fan standpoint. It's the fact that we have yet to see it happen here in this city, and it's just over and over and over. Like, they don't have that issue anywhere else. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
You guys made a joke earlier about the Browns, but I'd rather be a Browns fan right now.
I mean, they're playing good. They're playing well. The Browns are one of the top 10 offenses in the league.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then when you have Deshaun Watson coming back, I mean, you're going to
Coming
even have
back.
a top 5
Without
quarterback in the
Deshaun
league too
Watson,
as well.
Top 10 offense. That's what I'm saying. Like, you have hope
Yeah,
there.
I do agree. I mean, at the moment, I guess you're right at the moment, John. That you'd rather be a Browns fan than a Bears fan.
How did that taste coming out your mouth?
I swear.
I mean, it's just, I guess at the moment, right? But you guys are listening to and watching the JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Guys, make sure you hit the little bell next to the John Conavi Facebook page just to get notified when our shows are on, not just the JCA Sports Podcast, but also the EAFP Podcast and also Sports Strip Live with Jose and his brother, Ricky, talking about UFC, MMA, wrestling, all the combat sports around the world. Well, basketball is back, guys. It started off, and it's going on right now. It started off the day before yesterday, and the Bulls played yesterday. What it looked like a very competitive preseason game for sure. There was a lot of excitement going around on both teams. What are we going to see from the Chicago Bulls this upcoming season? Who are their players to watch for and stuff like that. We kind of sort of saw the starting lineup, what's going to be the starting lineup to start the season. Throughout the game, but surely you can see like everybody's mixing in the stuff. But the Bulls lost last night 129-125. Zion looking like a beast. Man, he just looks fit and ready to go.
About time.
Yeah, and that's something that the Pelicans really needed from him, honestly, just to simmer down and just looking like a man child, or mainly more like a man, and take out the child. That's a good team coming up too out of the West. It's going to be an interesting team coming out of the West. But yesterday, guys, first preseason game. What was your takeaway from it, Jose? Your takeaway from the Bulls game last night?
I watched the entire thing. Believe it or not, I was at home.
Oh, look at you!
Must be nice.
I was excited. Right, I'm a huge Bulls fan. I was excited. I watched the entire thing. Wasn't as competitive as you. It was competitive, yes. But it was only competitive because our bench was better than their bench. I believe. I believe our bench.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Our bench was better than their bench. That's just that their starters, they did enough to help them win in the beginning, and that was the issue. We defensively, we have a lot of. Obviously, we knew this from last season. There's still a lot of holes defensively. This is only one preseason game, guys. Let's take all this with a grain of salt.
Again, it's preseason.
Yeah, but and it's the first preseason game. So just looking at it yesterday, still didn't see much defensively that I liked. But everybody's shaking the cobwebs off from the offseason, right? Not everybody works out through the entire offseason. The one thing that surprised me early was that Vucevic had a lot. His presence was felt defensively yesterday in that preseason game. So that tells me he's been working on that deficiency that he has. And that's good to see. Other than that, Zach LaVine was shaking the cobwebs off. As you could tell, DeMar DeRozan was shaking the cobwebs off. Io started. He looked pretty damn good. His shot looks a lot more fluid than it was last season. That's a great sign to tell.
He also looked like he got a little swole too.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah,
I seen a little
he put
definition
some
in
weight
his
on.
arms.
he
No
put up
homo.
some weight, and that's good. You need to, right? You need to. Bench wise, Andre Drummond's going to be a good rebounder for us. Defensively, he's not all that great defensively, but rebounding wise, that's where he brings in his bread and butter, and that's what we're going to need. Dalen Terry, it was my bright spot for yesterday, guys. And I get it; it's preseason. I get it; it's against other competition, around his caliber. But he looked like the better player out there, and that's what you want to see from your first round draft pick. When you have equal playing field between two teams, and he's your bright spot, he's the one who looks like the better player overall. That was great because he showed the range, he showed the skill set, both offensive and defensive. I love to see it. And that again, like, why am I surprised when AK and Eversley all they do is give us quality, young players who can develop like Ayo Sumbu, you know what I mean, like Patrick Williams. So I'm not surprised, but I am pleased.
No, definitely for sure. The one thing I want to take away a little bit from yesterday's game is I wanted to see a little bit more involvement on Pat Will on the offensive side of the ball. I felt like we got just a little nibble from it, and I kind of want to see him take that next step. I want him to be, maybe not the third scorer, but I kind of want him to start taking away a few of those points from Vucevic when he can, and take a little bit more shots or drive a little bit into the hole. I could see that when we saw it plenty of times, not only last year in the summer league and then also in the preseason, but also towards the tail end of the season, right before playoffs start, that if you give Patrick Williams the ball, he can put it down on the floor and he can actually score. We only got, I think he was him and Zach. I think had the same amount of minutes. I think they both played 15 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have the box score in front of me, but they didn't play that much. But I kind of want to see a little bit more of him. I know he had single-digit points. I want to say it was like 5 points, 6 points, something like that. But I want him to be more involved and do it now during the preseason. That way you can kind of see how you can mesh things together. Then that's my only issue from yesterday's game, because I feel like if you use Patrick Williams, you can probably take that next step in competing with the teams a lot more better in the Eastern Conference than you would now, with all the question marks that you had with not having Lonzo Ball and the lack of offensive power that you have.
Yeah, 16 minutes. Patrick Williams.
16 minutes? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, 7 points?
16, 5 points, 2 for 7 shooting, so 5 rebounds.
Yeah, I feel like they can do more with him, and he can help out a lot more too. That's just my issue. I know, like you said, grain of salt, first preseason game. I get that 100%, but I just wish they could just test it out now before the regular season starts, and it's just kind of like everything's all discombobulated.
But Eric, I do think they're gonna rely on him to do more overall. Like you guys both touch on it. It's the first preseason game, and again, it's preseason. Yeah. You guys know I personally hate preseason for football, basketball, baseball. Baseball's probably the one I'll watch more preseason games of, because there's so many of them, and you get to see like who's coming up. Whereas like NBA football, you kind of know who's your starters, who's not. But realistically, I didn't watch it. I'm not even going to front with you guys. I did see the highlights. Zion looks like a beast. I'm happy. You guys know he's been my boy since he was at Duke. I was upset he got drafted by the Pelicans, but they look like they're actually building around him. That dude looks like he's a beast. He does. It looks like he's finally gonna live up to his hype. I don't know if you guys recall a couple years back, that dude had being called the next LeBron, next Kobe, MJ, all that.
Yeah, he was.
It's time. Yeah, it's time. It's his time. The Bulls, however, man, I feel like regardless of how we do, we're not going to see this team really excel until we get Lonzo Ball back. As much as I've been like critical of Lonzo being a bust here because of his injury, you just can't deny the Bulls are better with him. Tremendously better. Like at this point, like I'm at the point right now where I don't even know if we're gonna win our first game against the Cavs, because the Cavs clearly got better.
We'll see, because they got a match still, John.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be competitive. You know, they always, but you can't sleep on the Cavaliers no more.
No.
No, we definitely cannot. We can't even sleep on anybody in our conference alone, in our division
at
alone.
all. And then
Because the Central Division, even the Pistons will give you a good run for the money, and the Pacers, they may be the bottom feeders of on our division, but they could play. They got players that could play in there too as well. And obviously Milwaukee.
The Pacers play hard. That's what it is.
Yeah,
they play
do.
hard and they play as a team. But as far as the Bulls go, man, you miss it without Lonzo Ball. And how you just described how our conferences and the whole East in general, we cannot go in starting the season with rust from Levine, DeRozan, Pat Williams, Vooch. Like these are guys. Levine got paid. He got to earn it. DeRozan has like big expectations based off of his performance last year. We still got big hopes for Caruso as well because he did his thing prior to being injured. And then, the same thing with Pat Williams that we've been preaching for the last couple of years. Let him do more on offense. We know he can do defensively.
Well, that's what the preseason is for. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the shape and stuff like as you mentioned. Because DeRozan got 21 points still. It's like it's almost like
DeRozan's gonna get his.
Yeah, he's gonna get his. And you have how many Bulls in double digits? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Bulls in double digits yesterday. You know what I mean? And 1, 2, 3, 4 of them basically. 4 of them will be starting this year. You know what I mean? If not 3.
Yeah.
So you got that. But the one thing, John, and I agree with you what you said about Lonzo Ball, I would still say about this team is I feel like they got deeper. They're deeper now than they were last year. Because of Andre Drummond, because Goran Dragic.
Yeah, of course.
And then you still have a healthy Alex Caruso, a healthy he's healthy this year, and Zach LaVine's a lot more healthier too. So this team is going to be better this year than they were the tail end of the season last year. So that's a plus. But you're right; they weren't the only teams that got better, and that's the issue in the East.
No, yeah, definitely. And for the Bulls, it's a wait and see. Obviously, the first game of the season is against Miami in about a couple weeks in Miami. But yeah, their first home game is against Cleveland here.
The 22nd. The 22nd.
Yeah, it's just a wait and see. I mean, you can't. Question for you guys: when's the right amount of games for you to actually see the Bulls and judge the Bulls by how they're going to play or how the season's going to feel out? But what's the right amount of games for you guys?
That's tough because last year, John, right? They were at the beginning of the season they were world beaters, and at the end of the season they just completely flopped.
The hype was real. Like everybody jumped on the hype train last year, man.
Right. That's a tough
for good reason though. The way they were playing, hell yeah. Shit, I mean, even ESPN was covering the Bulls.
Right.
Eric,
go ahead.
Answer your question. Sorry, I'd say about 10 games.
No. Based off last year, I say after the All-Star break, you would know.
No, bro,
it's too long.
That's too long.
But look at
I get what you're going with. I know where you're going with by you saying by the All-Star break, simply because the moment when Lonzo went down, it was a whole completely different team.
Exactly.
I know where you're going with that. But this team right now, the way it's constructed, right now, we know what's on the back burner when Lonzo Ball comes back, if he decides to come back, when he comes back this year, next year, or next year's season. We know that, right? It's just right now, this Bulls team constructed right now. How many games will you give them before constructed?
You said 10 games, but 10 games in the last season, they were number one. Okay,
I never said 10 games.
I said 10 games.
Okay, John said 10 games, but the 10 games in the last season, they were number one in the NBA. 10 games. So you can't. But they're not. They were definitely not a team.
Okay, but if the Bulls can be number one without Lonzo Ball in 10 games, that gives me a lot of hope for this team. Whereas if they're struggling within the first 10 games because we don't have, our number one point guard, then it's very concerning.
They weren't fully healthy in the first. Didn't Patrick Williams go down in the first 4 or 5 games?
Yeah, he went down literally the first 5-6 games of the season. Then he was gone for the whole year.
Respectfully to Pat Williams, he's not as important as Lonzo Ball is to this offense.
I get
to
it.
this offense.
That part,
I think that's too early.
I know where you're going with that one.
Deontay agrees. He says 15 to 20, but I think even then it's still too early.
I could push it to 20. Yeah, I could say about a month.
I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough.
Like a month from wait, hold on. Let me get this one. A month from the first start date of the season, which is October 19 to November 19, or a month like the first slate of games in a month where they only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games of the season.
How about this? You get a good sample size up until January. I'm gonna go with January.
That's too long. They're about to start.
No, it's
they're
not.
About to start what, a week and a half?
No, I don't care. I think up until January. Like, I think for sure that pretty much legitimizes who they are as a team. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna have up and down. You know, in NBA, it's such a long season. You're gonna have up and downs. But like to see where they were consistent, like okay, this team's going to be a hard fought team, or this team's going to be a bust. By January, you should know.
36 games. That's how many games in the season it is from
January.
From October 19 when the season starts to December 31st against the Cleveland Cavaliers.
That's too many games.
Then I'll go with 35. I'm gonna go. That's how long I'm saying. 35.
Okay. The longest I'll push it is if we start with October is in 19.
Yeah.
Give me until December 1st.
That's me. That's exactly what I was gonna say. December 1st is probably the perfect time on how you can evaluate the Chicago Bulls and this team well constructed.
You want to know
whether
why?
you see where or not Lonzo Ball can fit or where will he fit in with this team well constructed.
But you want to know why? Because if I'm at the point where I give up on the Bulls and I'm strictly focusing on football and the World Cup,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm
gonna hop back on the Bulls.
The moment the World Cup happens, everything else is secondary noise. You know that the World Cup game on Sunday, where the Bears play against, who was it? I forgot what. I think it was the Lions.
It's a Thanksgiving game.
Here's the game for that Sunday game for the Bears. For the World Cup game. You ready? It is going to be Germany versus. Oh, damn it! I had it right here too. Damn. The fact of the matter is, I'm not going to watch the first full hour of the Bears game because of the World Cup.
Listen. Real quick though, these World Cup parlays with basketball and NFL.
Hell yeah! So the other day, Sunday, I did a 20-leg parlay just for f and giggles, and I only put like $2 in, and the $2 parlays for those things, like $2 would have won me and I had NFL, I had MLB, I even had the soccer slates too as well, bro.
30.
Man, I swear, if I got a hit, I just want one. I just want to hit one.
You just got to hit one time for the fun time.
One time, just for like a $2 to $5 bet to give me like those $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 money signing, bro. I just want one.
Guy.
That's all I want.
Okay, Eric, I'm gonna need you to start at like $5 wins you 50, 5 wins you 100, then work your way up, bro.
No, I'm swinging for the fences, bro.
I got a question for you both. I got a question.
I'm swinging for the fences.
Okay, but that happened over the weekend with some guy in the NFL 15-game parlay. He was literally all he needed was the Rams to win, and he could have cashed out at 20,000. Obviously, the Rams didn't win.
Right.
He lost. Right. For you guys, right? If you had that going, so Eric, let's say you had a $50,000 parlay, and you needed one team to win, but they say they wanted you to cash out at 30. Would you cash out?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
30
at 30,000? Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. The guy he didn't cash out at 23,000. I would have cashed out.
I would have cashed out, bro.
I would have cashed out. I would have definitely
cashed out. That's 23,000 more than I had.
Right. Exactly. Shout out to Bleacher Report though, because what they did do, even though he lost that money, he was pretty bummed out. They end up giving him tickets to come to the playoffs in Las Vegas. Next year.
That's some bullshit, bro.
So they hooked him up. He left.
Whatever. That's what happens in social media when you post it on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or whatever you do, and it goes worldwide. It's a sympathy thing. I guess
don't hate the player, hate the game, my boy.
Hey, what would you rather do? What would be worse? Missing out on history and missing out the 61 home run, or missing out on a $50,000 parlay?
I don't know, but it's a good segue to baseball because we got to talk baseball before we end the show.
As much as I want to say baseball, money, I think the parlay.
that 61 home run ain't gonna do nothing for me, bro.
Nothing at all.
That can happen the next day. I don't care.
Especially when Aaron Judge says he don't ask for the balls back.
Nah, but I heard he did want the 62 one back though.
That one I heard, yeah. But he also said that it's how do you say? He said it like it's a part of the reason fans come is to have hopes of catching a home run ball. So he says he views them as those are souvenirs for the people that come watch.
He needs to be the face of the MLB. That guy is amazing, bro.
He's a face of the Yankees now. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, but he needs
the face of the Yankees for sure.
This man literally brought life back to the Yankees. The Yankees are once again, I should say the Yankees. They're the Bronx Bombers.
For sure.
I mean, no. When we were growing up, all you heard was the Yankees, and the Yankees have fallen off. They haven't won a World Series since 2009.
Him and Pujols brought life back to MLB,
bro.
It's been
Pujols did it was beautifully magical. Like how as they say on Moneyball, how can you not be romantic about baseball? This man was doing ass. Gets traded or not even traded. He gets signed as a free agent to go back to St. Louis. Realistically, the way he has been performing, he shouldn't even been starting at all.
Right.
But he comes back home, which is crazy because a lot of people were pissed when he left way back when he signed that fat contract with the Angels.
Yeah.
Because according to Pujols, he was gonna never leave St. Louis.
That was a 10-year deal.
Be there for life, bro. He got paid. That's when the Angels opened the checkbooks. They signed him, Josh Hamilton. They signed the pitcher CJ Wilson.
And they had a very 7-tool player in Mikey Trout there too as well in Los Angeles too.
Well, he wasn't there yet. When Pujols went, he wasn't there yet.
I mean, he was there.
You know what's amazing?
A year or two away, I think.
You know what's amazing about what Albert Pujols did is like you start to see this with these great players. Derek Jeter, his last game, that walk off.
That was beautiful. Of course, it's Jeter. Come on now, it's Jeter.
But that's what I mean. Like the great players, man, they know when it's time to go, they're gonna put on a show for you. Kobe Bryant with that 60-point game. Derek Jeter.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Albert Pujols doing what Albert Pujols chasing, this streak. It's just wild.
Zinedine Zidane in the World Cup final.
There you go. It's beautifully poetic.
Oh, Zidane was very poetic for sure in 06, bro. That was poetic at its finest. But real quick, guys, and now that we're on this subject and this topic, and I really do like this topic because I really want to know your guys' view of this. Is the 62 home runs from Aaron Judge being overflated because he's a Yankee, or is it because truly a history?
Nah, bro, it's not because he's a Yankee. It's because it is history itself. Now, I wouldn't put it as like greatest season by a baseball player ever, but this, he did break the AL home run record. And I mean, at a time right now when baseball is a dying sport, it was exciting. And it's equally as exciting as Ohtani last year. Like here we go back-to-back years where we have some excitement in the MLB. And then, I know we just talked about it, but even Pujols, bringing life to the MLB. Like this is overall, it has nothing to do with him being a Yankee. Because personally, if y'all remember, him and the Yankees were fighting about contract negotiations at the beginning of the year. Yep. And he bet on himself. Now he has, get paid. I doubt he's gonna go somewhere else, but he absolutely can and get massive money. But I mean, we touched upon it. He's the face of the Yankees now. But I don't think it has to do with him being a Yankee just because the Yankees aren't the shit no more, or they weren't. Look at how much hype the Mets got. The Yankees didn't get nowhere near that much hype, and they got Giancarlo Stanton in that lineup. They got Aaron Judge in that lineup. They have Garrett Cole on the mound. So say what you want to say as far as like what he uses, that spider tack, sticky stuff, whatever you want to say about Garrett Cole. But a couple years ago, he was the best pitcher in baseball, and he got paid with the Yankees. So it's like, despite all these big names, they weren't on the level of popularity-wise as the Mets, as the Dodgers. You can even say the Braves just because they're defending World Series champs. It's just, the Yankees name, the Yankees brand has fallen off tremendously within the last years. They're okay, they're going to make the playoffs, but they're going to lose. I mean, even when ESPN covers, the Red Sox versus Yankees games, no one really is like excited for this rivalry
It's
no more.
overhyped rivalry.
It's not. I mean, the rivalry was
is.
more excited when you had Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz going up against Jeter, A-Rod, Mark Teixeira. That was when the rivalry was exciting. Now, you'd rather see the Cardinals and Cubs on Saturday Night Baseball. You'd rather see the Padres and Dodgers.
That's definitely true.
That's what I'm saying. The Yankees' name is falling off tremendously, but Aaron Judge literally carried them on their back, carried them into the playoffs, and you best believe a lot of people are going to be tuning into these Yankees playoff games because of Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
It's more so it's because of Aaron Judge, not because of the Yankees.
Jose, is Aaron Judge 62 home run season being overhyped because he plays for the New York Yankees in the New York market?
No. John alluded to it. This is exactly what baseball needed at a time where they needed it the most. I think if it's being overhyped, I wouldn't even say it's being overhyped. Baseball is finally doing what it's supposed to do and marketing what's going on, because you're seeing baseball even like during NFL broadcasts, or even college football broadcasts, they would stop or they would have a picture-to-picture and showing what's going on with either Albert Pujols and Derek. I'm not Derek. I almost say Derek Jeter. Oh my God,
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge. I'm over tripping. And Aaron,
You're welcome.
yeah, right. Thank you. But you see that. That's the exposure you need. What's been going on in baseball, this has been fun to watch. Even someone like me who doesn't casually watch baseball has been into it, and I want to see this happen because it's history. I think it is history. It's not overhyped because he's in the Yankees. This could have been anybody on, name a team, Seattle Mariners. And I think
Mariners had a great season.
Right.
The Mariners announcing to break their drought was amazing.
That's what I'm saying. Like baseball has been compelling this year, 100%. And that's with the Cubs being the Cubs. Even here, for someone like me, right, it's been compelling. And I don't think it's overhyped because he's with the Yankees. I just think it's much needed in a sport, like as John mentioned earlier, that was dying.
Okay, that's cool. All right, so which record will we never see again? Somebody reaching 700 home runs or someone reaching 60 home runs?
We'll see both.
I agree. We will see both.
Yeah.
Really?
We will see both, but I guess the least likely is probably the 700 home runs.
The 700 one, you will have to choose somebody now. Maybe someone like Aaron Judge could get there later in his career.
He's 30 years old now.
I was about to say he's 30, homie. That's not gonna happen.
He's 30.
Yeah, he's been out for a while, bro. He's already on year number 8, I think.
No, man.
Yeah.
30 years old?
Dude.
Damn, he looks like he's 22. No way.
No, he's 30.
Okay, well then. Damn, man. Okay, well then I don't know. I think John's right then. I guess the 700 will be the hardest one to do, but it's gonna happen eventually. Eric, records are meant to be broken, man.
I mean, yeah, you're right. Records are meant to be broken, and I think nobody's gonna come near Barry Bonds in 73 home runs. I think that's one record that is gonna not be touched in baseball, right?
For real,
what is it?
Do you count that as the record? Because John was making a case earlier in the chat. That's the question you should be asking. Like, should that be counted as a record, or is it 62?
Is it in baseball? Is it in baseball writing? That's my question. Is 73 home runs in baseball writing?
I don't know. You tell me. I don't know that.
Is 73 home runs in baseball writing?
Yeah,
that's my question.
Yeah.
Yes. Then yes. It is.
Yes, that's the record. Like, why are we judging this? Why are we saying that 73 home runs is not the major league record? Tell me about it. Like, seriously.
It's a record, but it has an asterisk on it because you had to use steroids to get there. You had to cheat to get to that record.
Don't give me that.
You did.
That time that baseball was fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was because of them.
Absolutely, that time a lot of people were on steroids. But look at how they've cracked down on steroids now. Nowadays. You can't. I mean, think about it. If somebody even gets close to 70 home runs, they're gonna get tested.
Oh, I'm surprised. Aaron Judge says that and got tested. I mean,
he probably has. It just didn't announce it. But I mean, look at Christian Yelich a couple years ago when he was raking homers. They started to test him like immediately, and he was public about it. Maybe Aaron Judge wasn't public about it, but I wouldn't doubt that they didn't test him. But compared to everybody was doing it back then, you had to cheat to get to that record. So for people to obtain that record again is going to be really hard. Especially there's so much more aside from the steroids that were used, performance enhancing drugs. There's so much more technology used in baseball nowadays. There's so much more. We've seen it. I call it Bush League, but you intentionally walk a guy so he doesn't get to the record. It's a lot. The game is way different now than what it was back then. Back then, it was exciting to, okay, as a pitcher, I'm gonna overpower you. I want you to try to hit this home run off of me. Because why? Because I'm juicing too. So let's go.
Thank you. That's the exact same point I wanted to make. In that era, it wasn't just Barry Bonds doing it. You don't
it's
know
juice versus juice. Let's go.
Right. It's just that era, so you got to count it because it's like I'm pretty sure there was players who didn't get caught doing it their entire career.
Oh hell yeah!
You know what I'm saying? So in that era, that era is that era. So if you can do it in that era, that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, we got some comments in the comments. I want to say real quick. Dark Sage from Twitch, man, we appreciate you tuning in. I'm going to make a bold prediction for the MLB playoffs, which we're going to get into. We should at least in a bit. Is it going to be St. Louis versus Houston in the World Series this year? They're the most dangerous team in the National League so far. As good as the Dodgers and Braves have been, the Cardinals have the firepower to compete. And as for Houston, he doesn't have the Yankees getting it done. Although I do not want to see a battle of the former NL Central champs teams face off, but I believe that this is what we will get. He also goes on and says, if we want to bring up steroids, we have to bring up Pete Rose and what he did, since everyone likes to put them in the same category, even though I say what Pete Rose did is not as bad as steroids.
Facts.
You think what Pete Rose did is worse than steroids?
I know.
He says it's not as bad.
It's not as bad.
Oh, okay, no, I agree.
Yeah, no, it's not.
The MLB just made an example out of Pete Rose. That's all they did. They made an example out of him, and they're not going to turn back on it ever.
Yeah.
You know what?
If there's one,
real
guess, thing that MLB does that for the integrity of the game is consistent is the fact that what they're doing to Pete Rose is what they're doing to Bond, Sosa, McGuire, and everybody else. It's BS. It's bull snot, but they're standing their ground, and I think it's these old baseball head people that are running this national sport of baseball. Is that's the reason why baseball has fallen off as the third best sport in this game, is because of those people. Those guys were in your sport. Those guys made baseball fun. From after the strike to like 2005, you had that 8-9 year gap where baseball was fun to watch, because even though these guys are juiced up and hitting the balls, people were going to the games. The Cubs were even below 500, and they still went to go see Sammy Sosa. The Cardinals will be up and down and fluctuating in playoffs, and they'll still go see Mark McGwire. Hell, the 73 home runs, everybody was watching Barry Bonds trying to break the record. And when he hit the 70, it was like, oh my God, it was the next best thing. And now, yes, they're cracking down on the steroids, but the juice ball and all this and all that is kind of like you guys are kind of doing the same thing, but in your own invented way. So it's kind of like, really, this is what you're doing. Like you're just looking silly by doing this at the end of the day.
Well, I want to touch on the Cardinals World Series prediction.
Oh, that's a good.
I like it.
Bless you.
Sorry.
Salud, sir.
My bad.
Salud.
Thank you. No, I actually I have my I'm not an Albert Pujols fan. I wouldn't say I ever was, but I do respect what he's done for the game. He's had an amazing career. I think it'd be pretty dope to see him Molina and Wainwright retire winning a World Series ring. That'd be pretty amazing.
That would be poetic. Yeah.
That would be, but to touch upon what he said about them being the hottest team, man. I don't know if you guys recall, but they went and traded it for Jose Quintana and who was it? Jordan. What's his name from the Yankees? They traded for a pitcher from the Yankees. I'm blanking out on his name, but literally a bunch of like number 4, number 5 starters, and they've been performing like crazy in St. Louis. You can't sleep on the pitching staff out there. The Cardinals, they just play hard together as a team, man. Kind of like what the Braves did last year after losing their star player in Ronald Acuna. Look what they did. They went all the way and won. The Nationals a couple years back, they won, regardless of not having no big names aside from Juan Soto. But, the Cardinals, once again, are in the playoffs because they grind through it. They play as a team. They have the next man up mentality, the why not us. all that. Realistically, with Pujols and Molina, those are probably two of the smartest players in the game right now that you got on the same team. Molina for sure, but you bring back Pujols, like there's magic in St. Louis, man. You can't sleep on them. I know Seattle got a lot of magic, but they're gonna be bounced. And then I know the other team you mentioned was Houston. Once again, Houston's the big dogs of the AL. Again, I don't know if you guys saw they almost had a combined no-hitter today. They lost in the ninth, but Verlander, 10 strikeouts, no hits through 5 innings. Like, what the fuck? This dude, he got the lowest ERA in the AL. Like, he's damn near probably old as Tom Brady by now, and he's still killing it. It's just like, man, again, I hate to say it because it's the Astros, but they put aside their cheating scandal for the World Series, and they still are that dominant.
Yeah, I agree with you, John. That 100%. It's playoffs coming up is going to be very exciting for sure because we have all these teams that are coming in with. I think this playoff is going to be a lot more exciting than it was in years past because you have a lot of good teams that you can make arguments for in winning this year. Dark Sage is making one for the Cardinals right now, saying, "Can you honestly tell why you should count them out?" Remember last year versus Los Angeles, how close they came, even back in 2019 and before that 2017.
Man, the Cardinals used to bounce the Dodgers, man. I used to be pissed.
Right. He said they are the one team every year. I will say to anyone, if you play them, you're the fight of your life. He makes a good point. I mean, it's true.
That's true.
Very true.
You're not lying there.
The Dodgers and the Yankees are my playoff World Series predictions. I don't know. I'm just going based off the
Dodgers
top
and
two
Yankees.
teams.
Damn.
New York, LA is going to be
that and I have like a $10 bet on them to win it all. So I got the Yankees winning it.
Jeez.
I did it after the All-Star break. I'm like, yeah, it's the Yankees year.
Oh, Royals are firing their skipper.
Yeah, I just saw that too.
Oh, of
as well.
course.
All right, guys. Speaking of money, speaking of bets, look at me, back-to-back great segues. I'm tell you a beast today. What do you guys have for our listeners today for your bets of the weekend?
Oof.
Let's go with Johnny Parlay over here and see what he got going on.
Hold on. Let me pull up my DraftKings. I already had it. Let me see. Sorry.
Hey, real quick. I don't know if I mentioned this last show. I went 3 for 3 last week on my picks. 3 for 3. I said the Cardinals were going to win when they were the underdogs. They won. I said the winless Raiders were going to defeat the Broncos, and they won. And what was the other one? I said the Jets will defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers. And guess what, guys? They won. If you want to say I'm 4 for 4, I even went out and said that Mitchell Trubisky was going to get benched in that game. And that exactly happened. If anybody here is on a hot streak, that's your boy Tony Basketball, Tony Football, Tony Pick'em, you name it. We making money.
Did you make money though?
Anyways,
did
John,
he just leave
your
after
parlay
saying
picks of the
making
week,
money?
bro. What you got?
No, Eric.
What do you got, John? What do you got? What's your picks of the week, bro?
Starting tomorrow's game, I'm taking the Broncos to cover the 3.5. No Jonathan Taylor. Matt Ryan's been trash. Doing that, y'all gonna hate me. I already said it. I'm taking the Vikings to cover the 7 against the Bears. Another one I'm looking at that I do think is fairly easy. I'm actually surprised by this line, but I'm taking Jose's Chargers to cover the 2.5.
Should be a good game. I agree with that.
Honestly, the money line is nice for the Chargers at minus 135. That's pretty hot too. And then my upset for the week. I don't think this should be an upset, but looking at what the sportsbook has it's an upset. Lions over Patriots. Because they do have them as the underdogs.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Really? Huh? That's interesting.
That's all I'm gonna give you.
I would have never. Yeah, I would have never put the Lions as at least an underdog for that one. That's very interesting. That's very, very interesting. All right, Mr. Tony, whatever you want to call yourself. What do you got?
Just give us 4. Just give 4.
Because I went 4 for 4 last week, Eric. I go last. You go ahead and give yours.
All right, chill out, Wendy's. Chill out.
4 for 4.
All right. So I like to venture out in the world, right? I'm that guy. I like to see where I can give you money not only just here in the United States but worldwide, right? So this is how tough this game is, and this is just a personal bet between Jose and I, but it's very close between the two. The matchup that's going to leave me on a delay for the Bears game on Sunday between first place Arsenal and ninth place Liverpool, where the money line is actually pretty close. It's pretty even on who you want to pick. Arsenal's plus 100 and Liverpool's plus 110, where a draw gives you a 265. So your best money on there is a draw 265 between Arsenal and Liverpool. Here's the thing, though.
I don't like betting draws. Can't do it. I don't like to bet the draws. Can't do it.
Here's the thing: the referee that's going to be on for the Liverpool Arsenal game. Arsenal has not won against Liverpool when he refs the game. Arsenal is 2-3, which is no wins, 2 losses, and 3 ties. But the last game that he refed, it was that 4-0 drubbing Liverpool on Arsenal at Anfield. This week it's in the Emirates, so this is why it's a little bit close, right? I'm going to put out on a limb on a same game parlay, right? As I'm going to put Darwin Nunez scoring the goal along with Gabriel Martinelli, which both of them give you plus 600 to score a goal, plus a 2-2 draw. If you guess that right, that's plus 600 there, and plus a 265 to win. That's money coming out of your pocket. I think that's a good way to win. Another one that I got, the Liga Mexicana playoffs start this week too as well. It's on the weekend, the play-in game. I like Club León over Cruz Azul at plus 260. I think that's the upset for the Liga Mexicana playoffs going in right there. And then all the favorites, I'm going for Toluca for that one. I'm going for Tigres with their minus 200 if you put them all in one money line. And then the last game between Chivas and Puebla, I don't care who wins off of that one. They're both pluses between Puebla plus 135, 220 for a draw, and plus 195. Making Puebla the favorites there. So I'm putting my money on the favorite in Puebla. Going around the world for you guys. I give you nothing but pluses. I give you nothing but wins right there. And hopefully you guys hit. All right, Mr. Tony, whatever you are, what you got?
Tony, whatever you are. How dare you disrespect me?
No, that's nothing but respect.
It's not respect.
Just give us your picks.
All right. Pick number 1 for you guys.
He's gonna say Liverpool now because you mentioned.
What was your 4 again? I don't want to clash with you.
My 4, I said Broncos to cover.
Okay.
The Vikings to cover.
Okay.
The Chargers to cover. And then I also said, well, I didn't even give no baseball ones. Fake.
Juventus plus 255 against AC Milan on Saturday.
I'm not touching Juventus. Damn, what did I say? I said Broncos, Bears.
All right.
Chargers. And Lions.
Okay, cool. I just didn't want to give out the same picks. All right, here we are. Dolphins, Jets. Dolphins have won 8 of their last 9 games against the Jets, including 2 wins last season. The Jets' last 3 wins against the Dolphins have all come at home in 2015, 17, and 19. Guys, that's going to change this season. I have the Jets defeating the Miami. If there's a time to beat the Dolphins, it's now with Tua out.
Agreed.
The Jets right now with Zach Wilson back, I think they're going to show you something in this game. Let's be honest. We know the firepower that the Dolphins have, but being down a quarterback, your starting quarterback it's never really a good thing unless you have a really good one. I don't know if I believe in Teddy Bridgewater. What I do know is that when you look at the yards per game, they're both neck and neck. Although New York's not as offensively talented as Miami, they're putting up around the same yards per game this season. Jets, get them on the money line. They're going to beat the Dolphins, and yeah, man, I think they got some hype behind them. That's one of my picks for sure. I'm looking at the Cowboys and Rams. All right, both teams that aren't as good as they should be, and everybody right now I think is hopping on the Cowboys because they're 3-1. But this is where they run into a buzzsaw. Pick up the Rams. I would even say Rams minus 5.5. The Rams are going to win. They're going to win by a touchdown, if not 2 touchdowns, Eric. I would take the Rams minus 5.5. cover the spread. And if you even and hell, if you want to go, I say even take the over 43.5. I could see it being pretty low scoring game. So no, I'm sorry, under. Take
Yeah.
take the under 43.5. I can see it. I can see it being a lower scoring game, but the Rams winning by 2 touchdowns. So there goes two of my picks right there.
Yes, sir.
What's another one that I had here? Another one. I said it earlier with the Bears and Vikings. Take the under. Both defenses are equally as talented. We know the struggles offensively that Justin Fields is going to have. Defensively, the Bears are they're not bad, and we know Justin Jefferson's going to get his. But I don't trust Kirk Cousins right now in this offense, and I say take the under with the Bears and Vikings. That's my third pick, and my last and final pick. I'm going to fade John with the Chargers and Browns, and I'm going to take the Browns. Believe it or not,
Wow.
game.
Fake.
I'm going to take the Browns in this game. Offensively, the Browns are better than the Chargers. They have been better than the Chargers this season, and they're better
team, bro.
The thing is, here's the thing: it's the defense is the reason why I'm taking the Browns over the Chargers. The Chargers are 30th in defense right now, guys. They don't have a good defense, and that's with Khalil Mack and Bosa on that side of the ball. The Browns are in the middle of the road, but if you look at it, the Browns are just better. They're just right now they look like a better team than the Chargers, believe it or not. As shocking as that says, and you'll get good odds on the money line with the Browns. The plus 120 against the Chargers. I say take it. I'll do it. I'm doing it.
Cool. Nice. Well, we at least try to help you the best way we can with the money lines. Obviously, those two have a better gambling experience than I can. I can't even win a $2 to win me 50,000 grand, but whatever. 50,000 grand, 50 grand. So, listen to them. At least they know what the hell they're talking about. I'm just that one guy that just hits nothing but money lines, and hopefully it all hits. And que vaya con Dios. Hopefully God helps me.
Que vaya con Dios.
Other than that, guys, any last thoughts before the weekend? Before we start gambling and watch sports, any last thoughts? John, who do you got winning the World Series?
The Dodgers, of course.
Nah, that's a stupid question from me. I am sorry. I should have just seen that coming.
The
Jose,
Dodgers, of course.
Believe it or not, man, Dark Sage, I appreciate you watching me. You convinced me. I'm going Cardinals. I would love to see Albert Pujols leave with a
Cardinals wagon.
Let's go.
First, it went from a Cubs fan to a Sox fan, and now he's rooting for the Cubs rival. This guy is by far the fakest person when it comes to teams in all life, bro. Talking about he's a Bears fan, but I'm rooting more for the Chargers. Talking about all this other stuff. He's like, I'm a Bulls fan, but I have a Giannis jersey and a LeBron jersey, Heat jersey. Like, this guy is just by far the most fakest person in sports history.
Hey, bro. Apparently, he's on the Trevor Lawrence wagon too now. He dropped Joe Burrow and is on Trevor Lawrence.
No, look, I can't give respect where respect is due. That's the only thing I'm doing here. I'm giving Trevor Lawrence his due because he's been playing. I'm still a Joe Burrow fan, but I'm giving Trevor Lawrence his due. I'm always a Bulls fan, never Giannis, never any other fan than the Bulls. But I do love Giannis, Giannis, whatever you want to call. I love him.
Giannis,
right?
Giannis.
Yes.
How many times we
and
have
I'm
to go
always
through
going
this
to
every single
be,
time? Oh.
and I'm always a Cubs fan. Always a Cubs.
Guy,
just because I'm giving Albert Pujols and the Cardinals their respect doesn't mean anything different. I'm always forever going to be a Cubs fan. Thank you.
Okay, Jose, but realistically, that's like if I said I'm rooting for the Indians to win the World Series.
Exactly.
You can't do that.
Bro,
you can't do that.
You do not. That's like.
First off, there's a Guardian.
You can't do that.
First off, there's a Guardian.
That's like.
And I didn't say I'm going to root. I said I have them winning. I said I would love to see Albert Pujols leave with a ring. Okay, I would love to see Albert Pujols leave with a ring.
That's rooting for him.
That's still rooting.
I'm rooting for him then. Fine, whatever.
It's like me.
But,
it's like me saying I was going for Tottenham the year they played the Champions League against Liverpool, bro. That's exactly what it sounds. That's exactly how you sound like right now.
That reference doesn't resonate with me because I'm not as big of a soccer fan you are.
This guy, please. We do apologize for him. We really do.
I mean, look, we all know Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Fame quarterback. That don't mean we root for him in the playoffs.
Exactly, I don't.
Aaron Rodgers is my favorite quarterback right now, though.
But we don't root for him to win a Super Bowl.
I've always said it.
But do we root for him to win a Super Bowl? No.
He does. Apparently. All right, guys. Where are you guys
everybody.
at from the JCA
Jesus.
League for your fantasy football?
Oh
We didn't
man,
talk about fantasy football, did we? Well, we can say what place we're in, right? Let's just say what place we're in.
I can tell you where I'm at right now.
I'm in last actually. My team's been shit thanks to Keenan Allen, Gabriel Davis, and Zeke. My team's been shit.
Jose?
I am currently in 9th at 2-2. It's a pretty tough league, but at 2-2, I'm 9th. My team right now. The reason why I'm 9th is because I have no quarterback thanks to Rick. I'm literally. I have Tua, I have Justin Fields, and Carson Wentz.
How is that not? Wait.
Exactly. That's one of the reasons why my team hasn't been as good. And then, of course, injuries to Michael Pittman. He's in and out the lineup. DeAndre Swift, in and out the lineup. AJ Dillon hasn't been playing the way. Gabe Davis hasn't been playing the way. I have Allen Robinson and Kyle Pitts on my bench who were supposed to be great this season and have not been great at all. So yeah, it's pretty.
Ain't done shit.
It's not looking good.
What place is Rick in?
Oh, that's a good question. Let me tell you right now. He is which one is he? He's the Mannings, right? I think. No, who is Rick is 4th with 2-2. We have the same record. 2-2. He just scored more points than I have.
Oh, nice. I am 1-3 and in 11th place.
Damn, boy, you.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Good night, everybody.
To me, it was mainly more like I play the wrong matchups. Like if I would have just switched one player, I would have won out with this. The record would have been the other way around. To be honest with you, that's just me this year for fantasy football.
All right, John, gotta go. We gotta go.
Yes, we do. All right, guys. We wish you good luck this week gambling. Let's go Bears. Bear down. Hopefully, we get be surprised and the Bears end up winning in Minnesota on Sunday. Let's go Arsenal. Hopefully, we get a dub. But I'm going with a tie for that one. This is the week where we lose out in first place. Other than that, for Jonathan Plyo.
One more thing. I got one more thing. Monday we have an announcement. We're gonna make.
Oh, well, look at that. We have an
One more
announcement
thing.
on Monday. Look at that.
One more
Breaking
thing.
I
news.
forgot about it.
One more thing. Tom Brady, City Boys winning.
Are you gonna shoot your shot at
City Boys
Giselle
out.
Bündchen?
No, that overrated looking ass.
Right.
supermodel. She like a man.
I agree.
I don't find her attractive.
I don't find her attractive either. I agree 100%, John.
Wow.
100%.
And with that, you guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to the JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. As always, make sure you guys follow us on all our social media platforms, including Instagram and TikTok, and hit the little bell when all our shows are live, not just the JCA Sports Podcast, but the EAFP Podcast and also Sports Trip Live. And as always, guys, good luck this week. Go Bears. And as always, Jose, hit that outro. See you next week.
What a finish! Wow, that is unfreaking believable. What a way for a ball game to end.
Oh, that's what happened. Oh, that's terrible. My God. The humanity.
They may be the drunkest couple in the history of sporting events.
I loved his face.
I would suspect that fan is done for the night. Here's the thing. When you steal something, don't wear it.